Hello and welcome to CLMB's Cracked Knuckle Productions. My name is Chris and this is Project Weyard Icons. Today, Lemuria. So, Lemuria is one of my favorite locations within the game, and there's a lot of maybe questions I think that people might have about it and kind of its history. It's an important place in the game story-wise, but in some ways there's a lot of lore that's lacking. And so this is, for all honesty, kind of my thoughts on maybe where this place came from and kind of how it developed over time. Some really interesting things that I wanted to include. Let me go ahead and remove this. This is what I have for my city. And so we have the city over here built upon the top of this mountain with this sunken crater. And the reason I did that is because in the Sea of Time dungeon, you would have yourself these volcanoes that you kind of go around. And so it got me thinking, well, it could be that this is a very seismically active, or there's a lot of volcanic activity in this area. And so I wanted to kind of incorporate that into the ruins of this place, of Lemuria. So if you look here in the ruins, you can see it's a broken down city, and it could be because of decay or things like that. And look, you can even see there's like a lucky fountain that was here. It almost looked like this could have been like the old palace. There's a building over here that's submerged. And so there's just what happened? Why did they leave this place? And possibly it could be because there were so few people, so they left part of the city. But what I decided to do, my take on it, is that you have the old city, which was here, ancient Lemuria, and it was destroyed when a volcano erupted. And so the people went across and over to the other section and built this up. And so that's why you have the old, ancient, and new. And so yeah, that was something that I did. In my story, I also created a little statue of Poseidon, who kind of welcomes people into the bay. You have this tunnel. Again, if we're looking at the dungeon itself, you kind of come in through this section here, and you can sail going this way to the docklands. It's all inside the mountain into the Lemuria, present day. And then over here is the ancient. And so I wanted to include that with this cave here. You can sail your ship up into here and go into this section or over here. This little building here, nondescript, is the little, again, if we go over here, you have the little gatehouse where you enter and you can like walk your way up, go to the fountain, the lucky fountain, and things like that. And so we have all those things here. And then for the city itself, what I decided to do is I wanted to focus on, for the most part, these things. And so we have the little bell tower over here. You have the bridge that goes across. And then I have a little bit of a lucky fountain here and another little fountain here with the city with some towers. And then instead of just being 3 steps, 1, 2, 3, I have 5 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then over here I have kind of the Senate building that you have established over here, with a little tower over here just for flavor. But with kind of waterfalls that are all kind of going down and around it. It's the other thing that I did, which are kind of interesting, is you have all this starry, all these stars in like the Northern Lights, Aurora Borealis, kind of going on in the background. Now, it's not that far north, but one of the things that I had inspiration from is in The Lord of the Rings, when the Fellowship of the Ring goes to Lothlorien. They are in Lothlorien. Everything is kind of ancient. Time doesn't really pass in the same way as in the rest of Middle Earth. And so, in the same way, I wanted this to kind of represent a ancient sky. And so you have the what the sky looked like maybe many years ago, and so it's kind of preserved. And so I thought that was kind of an interesting thing to be able to incorporate. Another thing that was really interesting in the creation of this was the city itself, and it might even be one of the, as a location, has some of the largest number of, elements to a city, or kind of a combined city. It's interesting. I'm realizing I didn't include this as a dungeon, although there is a boss. It could be something that I include in the future if I update the map. But in Lemuria, you have yourself Dijin. You have a teleport location, and in the Game Boy version at least, when you're teleporting after you go to the Mars Lighthouse, and you can teleport from one location to anywhere, Lemuria is one of, I think, 2 places that is a blue icon. It's a little interesting. You have a boss, which is the boss fight with Poseidon. You could maybe, and then there's no secondary boss, which is not abnormal, but yeah, there's no secondary boss, but there's a summon tablet. You have Eclipse. You have a synergy item that you receive here, Grind. You might argue, yeah, there's a dungeon. It's kind of a puzzle, and I think that's why I chose not to include that. But you have also the passage, so it connects ancient Lemuria, the Sea of Time, and Lemuria all together. And so altogether, it is one of the more, it's a city that has almost everything, which is kind of a cool thing compared to some of the others. Let me take a look. For example, if we were to go to the Mars Lighthouse, okay, just for an example, it's not really a passageway. There is an item, but there's no boss, there's no teleporting area. It's just a dungeon with a Dijin. And so I thought that was kind of an interesting note to make when creating this icon. Anyways, so yeah, that's Lemuria, and I hope that this has been enjoyable. Happy world building and blessings.